Today, guys, I'm going to be showing you how to get all the brand new rods inside of Fisch on Roblox. That is going to include the crafting and everything you need to know to get these rods efficiently and quickly, because I know these rods can take a long time to get if you don't know what you're doing. So let's get into this video. So obviously, we need to be in the Ancient Isles. If you're not already there, we need to go ahead and get there. All right, guys, so knowing that we're at Ancient Isles, the very first rod we can get is actually going to be on this island. Is known as the Phoenix Rod, and you essentially have to climb up the mountain and get to a specific location. I will have that on screen, me going ahead and getting to it. You have made it up here to this area that is behind the mountain. You're going to want to go ahead and go inside, and there's going to be two things we need to purchase. Obviously, there's this rod right here, the Phoenix Rod. Honestly, it's not terrible. The rod's okay. It's decent. It costs a decent amount of money, but so the price for the Phoenix Rod is $40,000, and the lure speed on this is actually 55. The luck is 30. The control is 0.2. So overall, an okay rod. Decent for $40,000. I will give you that. But now let's hop into the actual rods that you're able to craft. So let's get into that. So you need to actually get into the ancient archives, obviously, to craft this first, which is what I'm working on. And if you guys haven't already figured out how to get into the ancient archives, obviously go check out my new video on how to unlock it. I already have it unlocked. This is the location if you guys don't already know. So if we're getting started with the precision rod, this right here is the precision rod, and it actually has a lure speed of 20, a luck of 150, control it has 0, and then resilience it has 5%. Its mass kilogram is actually a lot, 120,000. So how exactly are we going to craft this? Well, you're going to need a amethyst rod, an amethyst shard, which you can get from the meteors or a meteor totem within the game. Now, I'm not going to lie, mythical driftwood is pretty hard to get. It takes a long time, and you can get them from crab cages, and I usually go to moosewood when I try to get these, but that is how you would go ahead and get that. And you need 2 of those, and then you also need a magic thread. Now, magic threads are not too hard to get. You can get these from treasure chest, but still, I mean, these can be tedious tasks. But overall, that's the precision rod. That's how you get it. It doesn't take too long. It's not too hard. Just make sure you get all the requirements that you're going to go ahead and need. So the next rod on the list is actually going to be the wisdom rod. Now, the wisdom rod is not too hard to get as well. Again, it takes 2 mythical driftwoods, which I know that can take a bit of time to get, especially from getting them from crab cages. Then you're going to go ahead and need 1 magic thread, which that is not too terrible to get. It's just from treasure chest. It takes a bit of time. All of these rods will take a bit of time as well as money, but they are better than the ones that are currently out. They're not the best rods in the game. However, they are really good. A lot of them, at least, especially for starters and beginners. And then you have the actual ruby craftable rod. So this one has a lure speed of 0%, a luck of 20%, control of 0.05, and then of course we got the resilience at 0%, and then our max kg is around 800,000. And this one has, again, its own special passive ability, a mythical rod that requires consecutive catches, granting a 70 to 100 XP bonus after 5 successful catches in a row. So that could actually be huge for grinding XP. This rod could be super overpowered. Each rod is good at its own thing. All right, so the next rod on the list is actually going to be the Resourceful Rod. Now, this one is a little bit more difficult to get, and I'll explain everything that you need to know about the rod, as well as its passive special ability. So this rod right here actually requires 3 amethyst gemstones. Again, you can get these from meteors that spawn in the server. You need lunar driftwood, so I'm pretty sure you'll actually just be able to appraise this over and over and over again until you get lunar driftwood, which isn't too bad, honestly. It will take time, obviously, but then the next thing is a magic thread. So not too bad overall. This rod is, in my opinion, easier to get just because you don't have to get the mythical driftwood, and it's cheaper. Now, the stats on this rod are actually going to be 15% lure, then you have the luck of 20%, the control of negative 0.01, and then resilience of 0, and then the max kilograms is 1,000. So overall, not terrible. Now, the special ability on this rod is what really makes it unique and special. So this doubles the effects of all bait, enhancing your fishing experience and increasing the efficiency of every single catch, which that is actually kind of insane for a rod. Now, again, all of these have their own special passives, but, you know, it's kind of overpowered. So the next rod on the list is actually the Seasons Rod, and as you guys can see, this goes for $35,000. The lure speed is 15%, luck is 25%, and the control is 0.3%. The resilience is 10%, and the max kilograms is 30,000 grams. Now, these do have their own special passives. This one is going to be boost fish luck by 20% for the current season. It may also grant seasonal mutation that changes the fish's colors based on the season it was caught in. So then here's just the buffs that it has. So the Riptide Rod, this one's pretty difficult to get, because you need to get Atlantean driftwood, 3 rubies, and some magic thread. Now again, all of the different gemstones can be found from meteors. The Riptide fills its tide meter by 20% with each perfect catch. At its max, it enters high tide for 3 casts, boosting rarity chance by 30% and bite speed by 25%. Now, the next rod on the list is actually going to be the Voyager Rod, and the Voyager Rod is pretty cheap, $30,000, and it has its own passive as well. It has a chance to fish up fossilized fish, which could sell for more. Then we also have the Lost Rod. This one is, again, pretty much similar requirements, except you need ancient wood for this one instead, and you need lapis lazuli. And as well, you know, you need ancient thread and $50,000. Lure speed's decent. This rod is pretty good all around. As you go up, these rods have better stats. Now, some of these passives are better, but obviously it goes up like that. So the Celestial Rod is pretty good. After catching 85 fish, summon Celestial powers for 5 minutes, boosting luck by 50%, luck, 30% lure speed. Caught fish also get the Celestial mutation and 30% XP on them, which that is insane. This is an OP rod. If you can get this rod, I would recommend it. This is the one I'm actually going to probably work on getting very first. Now, the last 2 rods require an insanely high level. The other one's required all the way up to 500, but the next one is actually 600. And this is Rod of the Eternal King. So every 30 seconds, a 10% to summon a royal escort, boosting luck by 150% for 10 seconds. If you miss a catch, there is a 15% chance of immediately catching a higher rarity fish, which is kind of insane. Now, the last rod is the Rod of the Forgotten Fang, and this one is pretty good. So after 5 minutes of perfect catches, it triggers a special event in the game where a Megalodon will jump out of the water with a higher tier fish, boosting it 5 to 20%. All these rods are pretty insane. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will be covering lots more stuff on the events.